Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clippity clop. Who's got the best tail in the world? Who's got the best mane in the world? Who is the best friend in the world? Arthur, fantastic.
I'm Dr. Olivia Audrey, and I'm here with my son, Sully, and we are going to be reading Arthur Fantastic, The Search for Happy, which I co-authored with Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start with the first page. A long time ago, in a place not so far away, there once lived a unicorn named Arthur. Arthur Fantastic. Arthur had a beautiful white coat, which shone in the sun. His mane and tail were the colors of the rainbow. As he walked along in the sunlight, he glittered and sparkled. Arthur loved to gallop, jump, and play, and go to exploring. But all above, Arthur loved to dance, and he made up his own dance moves. Dancing made him feel great. If you were to see Arthur dancing happily with his coat sparkling, and his brightly colored mane, and his tail swishing back and forth as he moved, you would indeed think that he was fantastic. There was only one problem. However, Arthur didn't think he was fantastic.
Oh, no. He felt so different from the other horses living in the meadow, and he had no unicorn friends to play with. The horses in the meadow didn't think he was fantastic either. They thought he was weird. Arthur tried to make his friends happy, but nothing seemed to work. As far back as he could remember, the horses had made fun of him. Maybe you're the only unicorn around because they all ran away from you. Ha ha, the horses teased. If you're so special in magic, Arthur, and want us to be happy, go and find Happy and bring it here. Then we'll believe in unicorns and magic, they said. The horses in the meadow were a herd of grumpy, boring, and uninteresting plain brown horses. There really was nothing different about these horses at all. In fact, they made certain that they all looked exactly the same. Well, that's pretty boring.
Yeah.
Every day they stood next to each other to compare their coats, hooves, and tails, and looked for anything that was different. Even though the horses were together, they were very unhappy. They hadn't smiled for so long that they had forgotten how to. They had become so busy making sure that they were all the same and that they didn't even laugh anymore. Every horse had decided that different wasn't safe and different was weird. They were very unhappy and they didn't even know it. Chapter 2, the journey begins. Uh-oh, it says unicorns this way. Ooh, there's Arthur. The days in the meadow became lonely for Arthur. He would run through the trees and across the fields or chase butterflies in the tall grass for fun.
This is the shortest page.
But every night when he lay down under his favorite oak tree, his heart would feel sad and alone. Long silver tears slid down Arthur's cheeks. Sometimes I wish I wasn't magic or different, he thought. What can I do? He thought to himself as he fell asleep. The next day, as Arthur awoke, he decided he would go on a journey and he would find Happy for the grumpy horses. Surely, he thought, once I find Happy and I bring it back to them, they'll want me to join the herd and I'll never be lonely again. Just the thought of the other horses accepting him made his heart leap with joy. Before he knew it, he was running full speed across the meadow and into the magic forest. If there's anywhere I can find Happy, then it surely must be in the magic forest, he thought to himself. Arthur had never been in the magic forest before, but his heart told him that somewhere in there he would find Happy.
Yeah.
Arthur walked through the forest and came to a clearing full of the most marvelous jelly bean trees he had ever seen. His eyes lit up in surprise. Jelly beans are my most favorite thing in the entire world, he thought. I'll only stop for a minute, just long enough to fill my belly full of these lovely jelly beans. Uh-oh, there's a sign. Jelly bean tree, keep off. Signed Hocus-E-Pokus.
I wonder who that is.
We're about to find out. Chomp, chomp, chomp. He was squishing and chomping his way through all the delicious jelly beans when he heard a voice behind him. Who and the what and the where and the why? Cried the voice. I've been growing these jelly beans for 300 years and 37 days, and you have nearly eaten them all. Arthur turned around. There stood a small elf dressed in a white costume, covered in red polka dots, with a mop of wild, bright blue hair. He doesn't look happy.
He looks scared.
Oh, I'm very sorry, said Arthur. It's just I haven't eaten, and these jelly beans are delicious. These are the best I've ever had. The elf walked up to Arthur. My name is Hocus-E-Pokus, and it has taken me a very, very long time to grow these jelly beans, 300 years and 37 days? Asked Arthur. Yes, precisely 300 years and 37 days, replied the elf. Arthur was a little confused. Aren't you mad at me? He asked. For enjoying the jelly beans you've worked so hard to grow? You see, the grumpy horses in the meadow all get mad at me, which is why I'm trying to find Happy and bring it back to them. Then I might be good enough to be their friend. And I don't want to be lonely anymore, said Arthur. The elf listened carefully. No, Arthur, he said. I'm not angry with you. In fact, I'm very pleased and relieved. Do you know what? He asked. What? Replied Arthur. I've never ever eaten my jelly beans. It has taken me so long to grow them that I didn't want to try them in case they weren't the best at all. In case they were just horrible. Then you came along and just started eating them. And you said they're the best you've ever had.
Wow.
Arthur was stunned. He always thought he had let people down. But this time it was different. He had really helped someone. Hocus-E-Pokus the elf was so kind, he pulled out a long purple string. I don't know where Happy is, Arthur, but take this with you, he said, giving him the string. This purple string represents compassion. Compassion is love and caring for others. Like when you show kindness and help others, that's compassion. This will help you on your journey. Remember, compassion.
He's just like, okay, I'm going to add that to my tail.
We'll see what he does with them. Oh, look, it says Arthur went that way. Chapter 3, Arthur makes new friends.
Ooh.
As Arthur walked along, the sun was very high in the sky, and it began to get very hot. Clouds of glitter began to puff out from his coat as he started to sweat. Soon he was sweating so much that all you could see was a big, cloudy, glittery mess. Just then, Arthur came upon the biggest, bluest, most perfect swimming river he had ever seen. Oh my cotton candy! He cried. That river looks so much fun, and water is my most favorite and bestest thing ever. I'll just stop here and I'll have a little swim, he thought. Arthur splashed in the water and began to sing his favorite song. He cleaned himself and stopped. He looked across the blue river. He thought. What if I can't find Happy? What if it can't be found? Oh, I wish I had somebody to help me find Happy, he thought. I hear you, came a soft voice.
That's not creepy at all.
Arthur turned around. There was a princess floating above the water. Arthur, she said, I am the princess of the beautiful blue river. I have heard your wish, and I understand that you truly wish to help your friends. Yes, said Arthur, I want to find Happy. I will go and ask a friend to help you on your journey, said the princess. Her name is Jeannie Gems, and you will know her by her crown, red hair, and sword of truth. I will go now, Arthur. Arthur smiled in surprised silence as the princess floated away. Arthur climbed out of the river and began walking. It was getting a bit late, and Arthur decided he would find somewhere nice to sleep. He came across some trees. One of the trees had a big smile on it. He walked over, and there was a lovely bed of mint leaves, all soft, beneath the tree. I think I'll sleep here tonight, he said. It reminds me of home. What can I do? He wondered as he lay there. But Arthur was cozy and warm beneath the tree.
In that picture, Arthur looks like a boy, but that one, he looks like a girl.
Yeah, but you know what? He can be either one.
Yeah, because he's a unicorn.
That's right. And unicorns are very special. Meanwhile, the princess flew across the skies and landed on a long row of clouds high above England. This was Jeannie's cloud base. Jeannie watched as the princess floated down. Jeannie, I have a mission for you, the princess began. I want you to find Arthur Fantastic in the magic forest and help him on his journey. Of course, Jeannie said proudly. I'm always ready to help. Jeannie turned to Derek, her dragon. Derek was fast asleep and snoring very loudly. Come on, Derek, wake up, she said as she gently nudged him. We've got a mission. We're going to help Arthur Fantastic. Derek woke up and stretched his wings. Have you got any snacks? Yes. Jeannie felt in her cape pocket and pulled out a dragon snack. It was a marshmallow. She handed it to Derek, who happily swallowed it down in one. Jeannie reached over and picked up her lantern of fireflies. They were bright, shining guides. Little Flame was the king of the fireflies. He could guide the way to any pure heart. Little Flame, Jeannie said, will you guide us to Arthur Fantastic? Little Flame buzzed around in a circle and smiled. That meant yes. Then let's go, Jeannie said, as she climbed aboard Derek and released Little Flame from her lantern. Okay, up, up, and away, she commanded, and they took to the sky.
Little Flame, king of the fireflies, led the way. It was morning as Jeannie and Derek flew high over the magic forest. Little Flame pointed downwards. Down, Derek! Down, Derek! Jeannie cried. We've arrived! Derek descended, but he wasn't always perfect at landings. No, not too fast, Derek, not too fast. Jeannie said, but Derek was already going too fast. Ka-thump! Splat! They landed with a tremendous bump, right in front of the oak tree where Arthur was asleep. He jumped. What's that? What's that? He looked up to see Derek staring down at him. It's okay, said Jeannie. That's Derek, my dragon. Perfectly okay. Here, give him one of these dragon marshmallows. He'll be your friend for life. Arthur carefully handed the marshmallow to Derek, who swallowed it down in one and smiled back at Arthur. It would have been a very hot smile, wouldn't it? Full of fire. You must be Jeannie. The princess said you would come with red hair and a sword of truth, said Arthur. That's me, Jeannie said, and yes, I've come to help. Well, I'm trying to find Happy and bring it back to the grumpy horses, Arthur explained. Do you think I can really find Happy? Arthur asked. Jeannie drew her sword of truth. I will ask the sword. Jeannie slowly swept the sword over Arthur's head in a semicircle. It sent a glow of sparkling white energy around him. What does it say? Asked Arthur. The sword says, if you are brave and persist towards your dream, any dream can come true. Oh, said Arthur. Well, I'm following my dream. I'm not very brave, but I will persist. Suddenly there was another voice. I heard somebody was upset and sad. Who said that? Cried Arthur. They all turned around. Out of the woods stepped the most beautiful peacock. Of course. He had long, colourful feathers, and on his feet were Wellington boots. Derek leaned across and sniffed at him. Yes, it's okay, it's fine. He's quite friendly, actually, said Jeannie. My name is Percy, he said. I heard you falling asleep last night, and you were very sad. Yes, I was, replied Arthur. I'm trying to find Happy and take it back to the meadow for the grumpy horses, but I never seem to do anything right. No, said Percy, don't say that. You do the right things. I know, I saw it. Look, he said, pointing to the smiling tree. You see the tree that you slept under? Oh, yes, said Arthur. Well, that's the grateful tree. He is grateful that you could sleep under him, and he could help you. With a nice, soft, cosy spot to sleep in, Arthur looked across at the smiling tree, and the smiling tree gave Arthur an even bigger smile and said, thank you. Oh, said Arthur, I really have done something right after all. Yes, you have, Percy answered, and someone is grateful. Oh, that's so nice, isn't it? Would you like to see Percy? Yeah, he's really cool. And he has fish on his Wellington boots and a duck as his walking stick. Of course he does. A duck's head, which actually talks to him, yes. Percy then pulled out a blue string from his feathers. It's very nice of Percy to share his feathers. This represents gratitude, which is part of what happy is. When we have the things we need, we are very thankful. And if we don't have the things we need, we can think of the times when we did. And we feel the thanks in our hearts. Arthur took the blue string and hung it around his neck. Thank you, Percy. I'm grateful for this and the kindness that you've shown me. We had better get going if we're going to find happy, Arthur said. They all said goodbye and the 3 adventurers walked off further into the forest. Chapter 4. Is that a monster in the forest? A rumbling sound could be heard. It got louder and louder and nearer and nearer. Ah! What's that? Arthur cried out. He pointed at a large, hairy, orange monster charging towards them. Jeanie drew her sword, ready to fight. Derek drew a breath, ready to shoot fire. The monster came charging towards them, growling loudly. But he was running in a silly, awkward way. He looked funny. His arms flopped up and down as he ran, and he kept tripping up. Jeanie held her sword out. Stop, she said firmly. Stop. The monster stopped suddenly and stood totally still. They all looked at the monster in silence. Then there was a sudden noise. The monster burped. Oh dear. Arthur, Jeanie and Derek all fell on the ground laughing. They couldn't stop. Hey, I'm supposed to frighten you. Why are you laughing? Said the monster. Arthur tried to answer in between laughing. It was the way you were running, and then you burped. They all started laughing again. Well, that's not very nice of them to laugh at the poor monster. Well, yeah, to be honest, said the monster, I don't really like to scare people. I prefer to have friends, and my name isn't really a good monster name. It doesn't sound very scary at all. What's your name then? Asked Arthur. It's Kevin. It's Kevin, yes, the monster replied. See, it doesn't sound scary, does it? So, what are you doing here, you 3? Kevin asked them. We're trying to find Happy and bring it back to the meadow for the grumpy horses, Arthur explained. I don't know where Happy is, said Kevin, but here, take this with you. Kevin, the orange monster held out an orange string. This is for friendship. Then, when you have good friends, you can be happy, Kevin said. Thank you, replied Arthur. And you know what? You've got 3 new friends now, Kevin, said Jeanie. You'd better go now. Goodbye, Kevin, they all said, and the 3 adventurers went off together. As they were walking along, Arthur said, Look, it's an old stone castle. Look at that. Amazing. Wow. They wandered up to the gates of the castle and sat down to rest. Arthur saw a beautiful, beautiful golden hairbrush sparkling in the sunlight. Oh, sweet peppermint patties, cried Arthur. One of the things he loved most in the world was to brush his rainbow mane and tail. Let's have a look around this castle, Derek. And they walked inside as Arthur sat on the grass outside, happily brushing his beautiful mane. I will have to look my very best when I find Happy and bring it back to the meadow, he thought to himself. Suddenly, he heard a deep, powerful voice from behind him. You could have asked, said the voice, before you go using someone's brush, you know. Brush is a very personal thing, and I take my hair very seriously. Arthur looked around. There before him stood the biggest, boldest, fiercest looking lion he had ever seen, ever before. Arthur was scared. He remembered what Jeanie's sword had said. Be brave and have courage. Yes, so exciting. Arthur stood up and looked the lion right in the eye, even though he was quite frightened. I'm sorry, cried Arthur. I didn't know it belonged to you. Please don't eat me, said Arthur. The lion laughed. No, I won't eat you. I've just had lunch, and I'm a vegetarian, actually. He replied, you do seem quite brave and courageous. I do like that. My name is Merlin, and I'm very pleased to meet you, said the lion. I like to chase my tail, actually, so they call me Swirly Merly. Well, I'm pleased to meet you, Swirly Merly. My name is Arthur. Arthur Fantastic, and I'm looking for Happy. To bring it back to the grumpy horses in the meadow. Merlin reached into his pocket. He held out a long red string. Arthur, he said, I don't know where Happy is, but I see that you are brave and courageous. This is a string of hope. Hope reminds us that even though we may not like how things are now, every moment is a chance to make things better and believe in your own strength. Oh, okay, thank you, Merlin, said Arthur, and he placed the string around his neck. At that very moment, Jeanie and Derek came out of the castle. Look out, Arthur! It's a lion! Cried Jeanie. It's okay, Jeanie, it's Merlin, my new friend. He's given me a string of hope for the journey. Oh, well, thank you, Merlin, said Jeanie. The team said goodbye to Merlin, who began to brush his long golden mane. And they walked on further into the forest. Oh, how brave they are. Chapter 5. Surprise guests joined the adventurers. Drip, 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 came a noise. What's that? Cried Arthur. It's just us. Don't worry, it's just us. I have a red ball of wool. This is Knit One, it said, pointing to the orange ball. And I'm Pearl One. Can we come too? Ah, said Jeanie, pointing at them. So, Knit One, Pearl One, of course you can come, said Jeanie. The more the merrier. Where are we going? Asked Knit One. Well, why are we going there? Asked Pearl One. We are looking for Happy, said Arthur, and we're going to bring it back to the grumpy horses. Yes, well, come on then, let's keep going, said Jeanie. And here you have the red string, and here you have Arthur, and there he has his necklace of strings, and there's Pearl One and Knit One and Pearl One there. As they walked along, Arthur stopped suddenly. Oh no, he said. What's wrong? Asked Jeanie. Look, Arthur said as he pointed down, we've reached the end of the magic forest. The 5 adventurers had indeed reached the edge of the magic forest, and Arthur turned to Jeanie and Derek. What can I do now? I was sure I would find Happy. I did everything I could. I learned compassion, caring, and being kind. I learned to help and be brave and persist and be thankful and to have hope. A tear slowly rolled down his eye and into the strings Arthur had collected around his neck. Knit One and Pearl One took all the strings from around his neck and wove them in zigzags above his head. They threaded them together in one long, shining, rainbow-tastic, tiddly-tastic scarf. My strings, cried Arthur as he watched them work magic. The scarf began to glow brightly. You have learned, and learned well, Arthur Fantastic, a magical voice said. The scarf then slowly floated off into the distance. Where's it going? Asked Jeanie. I know, said Arthur. It's going to the meadow. It's bringing Happy back to the horses. Come on, he said. Let's go and follow it. Arthur galloped off as fast as he could. Jeanie jumped onto Derek, and Knit One and Pearl One followed behind, and they all raced back to the meadow, following the rainbow scarf as it flew across the sky. The scarf stopped above Arthur's meadow. The grumpy horses looked up. What's that? One of them asked. The scarf began to shine with different colours of light, which beamed down onto the meadow. The horses were very, very interested. The rainbow scarf began to spin around, faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Wow! It sent different lights and colours all across the meadow. Wow, said the horses, that's so cool. The way the lights and colours moved across the glass made them want to dance. They couldn't help it. They all began to dance and smile and actually enjoy themselves. Arthur, Jeanie, Derek, Knit One and Pearl One arrived to see all the grumpy horses, no longer grumpy, but dancing and enjoying themselves. Arthur, the horses cried out. Did you bring this happy? Did you bring this happy? Hooray! Yes, I did, said Arthur. Well, it's great, it's fun, and it makes us feel really good. Arthur looked around at all his new happy friends. He felt so proud of himself. You have made us all happy, the horses said. You really did bring happy back. And it's true, you really are a magical unicorn. Do you see, Arthur said to the horses, happy is within you. You just have to feel it. It's all there in the colour of yourself. So now we move on, and I wonder what are the next great adventures of Arthur Fantastic and Jeannie Gems. Thank you so much to the wonderful Olivia, for co-authoring Arthur Fantastic and Jeannie Gems with me, to Dave Press, who phenomenal, colourful illustrations. And on we go. This is not the end. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. Not only the beginning of a great relationship between Olivia and I, but Arthur and Jeannie. Because Olivia is Arthur and I am Jeannie. And we have the sword of truth. And together, all of us, we are strong. We are strong for kindness. Above all else, we like to take altitude and go. Everybody has a right to be themselves. Everybody has a right to be their own colour. Everybody has a right to be themselves. Everybody has a right just to look to their own horizons. And we all have a right to love. The book is about love, hope, goodness, kindness, and joy.
Arthur.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.